Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Julie Mann, and I show people how they can live healthy, happy, sustainable lives by changing their habits and using cutting-edge products to help them age well. Today, I'm joined by the completely fabulous Kelly West, and if you don't know her already, she's one of the founders, her and her husband, James, founder of the Only networking group. And I absolutely love, Kelly, being part of that group. It's fun, it's dynamic, and I'm getting so much out of it. So anyway, I'm going to hand straight over to you for you to do your habits.
Well, thank you very much. What a lovely introduction as well. Thank you, Julie. Equally lovely. So yeah, it's good to be here. As you're introducing me, and I've just kind of winged myself into the house, jumped into the state. This is my life. This is my life, jumping from one thing to the next. And I've been thinking, right, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? And you're the habit fixer. You help people live fulfilled lives and obviously help them look good on the journey. And so I thought, do you know what would be really good to talk about? I talk about networking all the time, and that will come into any conversation anyway. But we've been having lots of conversations about this, about changing your mindset. Do you have limiting beliefs, other things that hold you back? And I, without wanting to sound arrogant, I am somebody that naturally manages to filter that stuff away. So when you talk about habits and changing them and things like that, I find it fascinating. I really do, because I am somebody that is very content in my life. I like being who I am. There's things about myself that annoy me, like this massive pile of paperwork that has been on my desk for 2 weeks that I sit on top of every day that I just can't get to put away. But at what point do I have to go? It doesn't really bother me that much if I just do it all the time, does it? So, you know, I love this idea of changing your habits and fixing them to make your life better. I suppose I've just got to get to a point where it's like, is that more effort than it is for me to just live with it, you know? Yeah. So in terms of habits, I think we're all creatures of habits, aren't we? To a degree.
Yeah.
And I think we all have good, bad, and different stuff that we probably would choose not to do if we could. Food's a big one, though, which I'm imagining is a big one for lots of people, isn't it? With all the best intentions of the world, I cannot stop eating food because I just love it so much. Just do. So I can't break that habit. There we go. There we go.
I think it's about, like you say, your quality of life, isn't it? And if you're having a great life and the habits that you have really don't have you experience a life that doesn't work for you, then there's nothing wrong with them, are there?
Yeah, very much so. I think being founding Only and, you know, talking to so many people, you know, huge volumes of people each week, obviously business owners and leaders, I find it fascinating how people are just so different and how things can affect them so differently. So it's been a real journey for me. It has in the last 5 years with Only, because I've met the most incredible people. I really have, you know, and I think for me, that is about learning not only about yourself, but how you need to be with other people too. So in the relationships that you're kind of forging and moving forward, and also they say, don't they, don't treat people how you want to be treated, treat people how they want to be treated. And I can totally understand that, because the world is very diverse now. So it's really nice to actually sit down, isn't it, as an individual and think, okay, how am I going to treat that person, and how would they want to be treated, and how can I be my best person for them? So that's kind of where I come at with things like that. And I am a very content person. I'm very lucky. I'm very naturally self-meditative. I don't perform anything like, you know, I don't do meditation. I don't do any relaxation techniques or anything like that. So I think for me, I'm probably just a very content person, I would say.
Brilliant.
Which is a nice place to be.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that I get about you, Kelly, is that because you love what you do, you're very good at what you do. And I think that you naturally love it. And the energy that you have when you're doing it is really contagious, and it has people want to join your network. And like I say, I'm so pleased that I did
Me
get
too.
out of it. And I also love that you and your husband James, you are in the habit of being yourselves.
Yeah.
And that really is such a powerful thing, because I think at the end of the day, people just really want to be themselves, whoever they are.
They do. There's a lot around that word authenticity, isn't there? And it does get massively overused. But I think you know the difference when somebody is truly authentic and when it's coming from a real place and it's not just being used as a buzzword. And I think James and I both worried very early on that we were too hot on the sleeve. You know, we gave too much of ourselves away. And particularly for me, you know, having a disabled daughter, didn't ever really talk about the kids, myself or James. Neither of us did, because we didn't want that to be an excuse. We didn't want to be defined by that, because we're really proud parents of 5 kids between us. You know, we really are. It's hard sometimes, you know, it really is. Everybody suffers with things in their life that's hard at times. And I didn't ever want having a disabled child to define me in the workspace. But when I came to terms with that, probably a couple of years ago, one of my friends was sat talking, having a coffee with her, and she said, I think you're like me, you're not a real mumsy mum, are you? And I was like, oh my God, no, I'm not. You're not either then. And it was like this whole, I had permission to go, do you know what? I would not change my kids for the world. They're amazing. But I'm not the sit at home baking arts and crafts mum that is waiting at the gate for school flags. Because I've got a life too. So having a disabled daughter kind of challenged that, because she will be forever a toddler in an adult's body as she grows up. So I think once we then came to terms with that, that's our lot, and we opened up to that. Why didn't we ever do that before, you know?
Yeah. Wow. I love that you've shared about that, Kelly. I think that's so powerful. And yeah, acceptance, I think, is key to being content, being happy with your lot, because stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it's who we're going to be about it. But actually, when we can accept what is, the way it is and the way it's not, then we have the power to make different choices. And that's what's powerful. So thank you so much for sharing what you shared. I really, really appreciate that. Please, everybody, check Kelly out, and you know, check the network, check out Only Networking. It really is fantastic. So I'll put all her links below this video. Mine will be there too. But all there is for me to say is thank you so much. I can't speak. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Kelly, for talking to us today.
Thank you, Julie. Awesome.